Welcome to the channel of success. Have you ever wondered how a non-EU citizen can apply for a German visa? Welcome to our guide where we'll be demystifying the process for you. Germany, a land filled with history, culture and opportunities, is a popular destination for many. However, to get there, non-EU citizens need to navigate the German visa process. Now, why is this important? The German visa grants you permission to enter, reside or work in Germany. Without it, you're unfortunately not going to be sipping that beer at Oktoberfest or exploring the historic Brandenburg Gate. There are different types of visas you can apply for, depending on your needs. You've got the tourist visa for those looking to explore, the work visa for those seeking employment, and the student visa for those aspiring to study in the country's esteemed institutions. Getting a German visa might seem complicated, but by following the right steps, you'll be on your way to Germany in no time. Join us as we delve deeper into these steps. Before you begin your application, it's important to know if you're eligible for a German visa. To start off, every applicant must have a valid passport. This document should have at least 2 blank pages and be valid for a minimum of 3 months beyond the date you plan to leave Germany. Next, you need to be of good character. This means you should have no criminal record and must not be considered a threat to the public order, national security, or international relations of Germany or of any other Schengen countries. Another crucial criterion is having sufficient funds to cover your stay in Germany. This is to ensure that you can support yourself without resorting to public funds. The exact amount varies depending on the length and purpose of your stay. But as a general rule, you should have around €45 per day. Now, depending on the type of visa you're applying for, there might be additional eligibility requirements. For instance, if you're applying for a work visa, you will need a job offer from a German employer. This offer should ideally be in writing, detailing your role, salary, and other terms of employment. On the other hand, if you're pursuing a student visa, an admission letter from a German university is required. This admission letter should clearly state your course of study, the duration of the course, and other relevant academic details. For those of you applying for a family reunion visa, you should be able to prove your relationship to the family member residing in Germany. This could be through birth or marriage certificates or other official documents. And finally, if you're applying for a tourist visa, you should have a detailed itinerary of your planned trip, including confirmed hotel bookings or an invitation from a host in Germany. Remember, meeting these eligibility criteria doesn't automatically guarantee you a visa, but it certainly paves the way for a smoother application process. Once you've determined your eligibility, you can start gathering the necessary documents for your application. Now that you know you're eligible, it's time to start collecting your documents. The first step in your German visa application journey is gathering all the necessary documents. These essential documents are the bedrock of your application, so it's vital to ensure they are accurate and up to date. First off, you'll need to complete an application form. This may seem like a daunting task, but fear not. The form is straightforward and requires basic information about yourself, your travel plans, and your financial means. Be sure to answer every question honestly and to the best of your ability. Remember, even the smallest discrepancy can lead to delay or denial of your visa. Next on your list should be 2 passport-sized photos. These photos need to be recent, clear, and in color. They should capture your full face against a light background. It's essential to adhere to these guidelines, as non-compliant photos can lead to your application being rejected. Now let's talk about travel insurance. You must provide proof of travel insurance that covers medical expenses, including emergency hospital treatment and repatriation for medical reasons. The coverage should be valid for the entirety of your stay in Germany, and the minimum coverage should be €30,000. Finally, you'll need to prove your financial means. This is to show that you can support yourself during your stay in Germany. You can do this with bank statements, proof of income, or a letter from a sponsor who will cover your expenses. One last thing to remember: make copies of all your documents. This is a safety net in case any documents are lost or damaged. Also, gather all these documents in a neat and orderly fashion. This will not only make the application process smoother, but also create a positive impression on the visa officers. With your documents in hand, you're ready to submit your application. So let's move on to the next step, submitting your application. But that's a topic for the next scene. Stay tuned. Submitting your application is a crucial step in the visa process. This is the point where all your efforts and thorough preparations will come to fruition. So let's dive right into how you can submit your German visa application. Firstly, you need to decide whether you'll apply online or in person at a German embassy or consulate. The online application process can be a convenient option for many, especially if you live far away from the consulate. You simply need to visit the official German visa application website, fill out the application form and upload your documents. However, if you prefer the personal touch, or if your country doesn't support online applications, you can take your application to the nearest German embassy or consulate. Remember to bring all your documents and be prepared to answer any questions about your application. Now, whether you apply online or in person, there's an application fee to be paid. This fee varies depending on the type of visa you're applying for. For instance, a short-stay Schengen visa costs around 80 euros, while a long-stay national visa can cost up to 75 euros. You can pay this fee online via credit or debit card or in person at the embassy or consulate. It's important to note that this fee is non-refundable even if your application is rejected. So make sure you've ticked all the boxes and double-checked all your information before you submit your application and pay the fee. One last thing to remember is that you need to submit your application well in advance of your planned trip. Visa processing times can vary, but it's a good idea to apply at least 3 months before your travel date to avoid any last-minute stress. And that's it. Once you've submitted your application and paid the fee, you've completed the most hands-on part of the process. Now all that's left is to wait. It might feel a bit like a suspenseful movie, but don't worry, you've done all you can at this point. After submitting your application, it's time to wait for the decision. Trust in the work you've put into your application and look forward to your German adventure. Now that your application is submitted, what's next? You might be asking this question, and rightly so. The waiting game begins, and it can be a bit nerve-wracking, but don't worry. This is a normal part of the process. Typically, the processing time for a German visa can take anywhere from 2 to 12 weeks. This time frame is dependent on a multitude of factors, including the time of year, the amount of applications being processed, and the specifics of your individual application. Remember, patience is key during this period. It's important not to pester the consulate or embassy with frequent calls or emails, as this won't speed up the process. Instead, use this time to prepare yourself for your potential journey. Learn a few German phrases, research about the culture, or plan your itinerary. Now let's talk about the two possible outcomes: approval or denial. If your application is approved, congratulations. You'll be notified by the consulate or embassy and you'll need to pick up your visa. Make sure to check the details on your visa sticker. The validity, number of entries, and duration of stay should all match your travel plans. On the other hand, if your application is denied, don't lose heart. You will be given a denial letter that explains the reason for the refusal. You have the right to appeal this decision within a month of receiving the denial letter. Carefully review the reasons for denial and address these in your appeal. You might need to provide additional documents or clarify certain information. Remember, a denial is not the end of the road. Many successful applicants faced a denial in their first attempt, so keep your spirits high, learn from the experience, and prepare for your next application. By following these steps, you can navigate the German visa process with confidence. Each step, each document, each waiting day brings you closer to your dream of exploring the vibrant cities and picturesque landscapes of Germany. So keep going, keep preparing, and keep dreaming. So let's recap the steps you need to take to apply for a German visa. First, it's crucial to check your eligibility. This means understanding the specific requirements that apply to your individual circumstances. Next, you'll need to gather the necessary documents. This could include things like your passport, proof of financial stability, and evidence of health insurance, amongst other things. Once you have all your documents in order, you can submit your application. This is a straightforward process, but it's important to pay attention to the details to ensure everything is in order. And finally, after submitting your application, you'll need to wait for the decision. This can take some time, so patience is key. If you have any further questions or concerns, don't hesitate to seek out reliable sources of information. There's a wealth of resources available to help you navigate the process. Remember, applying for a German visa doesn't have to be daunting. With the right preparation, you'll be ready to start your German adventure.